Hello folks and welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me yet, this is Giuseppe. I'm 47 years old and the channel you're watching is the channel of the Italian Keto guy. In my channel I have delight in turning traditional recipes, Italian traditional recipe for now, into keto ones whenever it is possible. I absolutely love cooking. So when I started this lifestyle, not a diet, the keto way of eating 2 years and 2 months ago, I said to myself, why don't try to convert the traditional Italian recipes into keto ones whenever it is possible? And so this channel was born. The recipe that I'm going to show you today is the strudel, the forest fruit strudel. Let's see straight away how I made the puff pastry and the rest of the recipe. Let's begin our recipe by adding 250 grams of almond flour in a recipient, 10 grams of xantan gum. Is it strictly necessary? Can I avoid it? I will reply to this question at the end of the video. 60 grams of erythritol, you can use stevia, swerve, whatever you have. Let's give a good stir, so to combine those dry ingredients very well. And now is the time to add the wet ingredients. 100 grams of ghee butter, the clarified butter, casein free, or if you use the normal one, put 100 grams of not ghee butter, it's up to you. 1 egg, 1 medium egg. Now the fun begins. You know, I'm used to use my hands to knead the dough. I don't like using spatula because with my hands I can taste the texture, the consistency of the dough. Of course, if I have to use boiling water, for example, when I have to do my, very rarely, the bread, because I don't eat bread anymore, keto bread, I don't eat keto bread, I use the spatula. The dough is ready when you see it detaching from the borders of the recipient. Keep kneading, it will be dry at first, but then it will become like this. Wrap it into a cling film and put it in the fridge for at least 1 hour. And then lay down on the table, let's prepare in the meantime the forest fruit. 200 grams I used and 80 grams of erythritol or whatever sweetener you like. Keep stirring, and the forest fruit has to release the juice, as you will see in a while. So keep stirring on a low flame, otherwise they will burn. And you see, they release the juice, and believe me, they're so delicious. Put them apart, and now lay down some cling film on the table, and with the rolling pin try to lower, to reduce the thickness of the how can I call this? Yeah, whatever, the dough. Let's use the fingers, like the pizza maker in Naples. They stretch the dough like this with the fingertips, and then back with the rolling pin. I stretch the sides is 23 centimeters wide and about 40 long, the length, like this. Put the forest fruit on the one of the side of the and then with the help of the cling film keep rolling, and try while you roll to close also the borders, otherwise we will lose, as in my case, some delicious and precious forest fruit. Be sure, as you are seeing now, to completely seal the borders, because otherwise in the oven a mess will occur, as I'm doing now. Be sure. And now put it in a parchment paper in a tray, and do some cuts, as I'm doing right now. You see it will crack a little bit, so before putting into the oven, try to fix those cracks while you do the cuts. 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 Celsius for 30 minutes. And so, as usual, the tasting. sublime, delicious, exquisite, delectable. Heaven. It's so delicious. Okay, so when to eat this keto product? If you like in the morning. Most Italian people ask me the sweet breakfast. I don't know if in your country it's the same. In Italy we love English, but they love, I don't. English breakfast, sweet breakfast. I prefer the savory one. Anyway, you can eat this in the morning. There is everything: protein, fats from the eggs, from the protein from the almond flour, carbohydrates as well. Let's talk about macro. You know, I don't count the macro, I don't complicate my life, I don't use apps, I just count the carbs, because the number of carbs is what you need to remain in keto. I mean, you have to stay between 20 and 40 grams of carbohydrates per day, and the best way for me is to count the carbs. Can you see? I'm healthy and slim. So the almond flour I used here in Italy contains 4 grams out of 100. We use 250, so by doing the proportion is 10 grams of carbs only for the almond flour, plus the carbs from the forest fruit. So read the label. In my case it's 11 out of 100 grams. We use 200 grams, so 10 plus 22 is 32 grams of carbohydrates. Definitely too much, but of course it's in the whole loaf of strudel. We are not going to eat it all, do we? Aren't we? So slice it and divide the 32 if you use the same flour and the same forest fruit, the same amount of course I used. Yours will be different. Anyway, do the division and you will see the net amount of carbs for each slice. Xantan gum, can I avoid it? Well, I used it because xantan gum is a fiber that gives elasticity and bindness to the gluten-free dough. But in my case, I got into trouble, as you have seen in the preparation. When I rolled it, it keeps breaking itself. So anyway, if you don't have xantan gum, don't use it. If you have, put it. It will help a bit. That's it. I have no other thing to say. So keep following me if you like my recipes, of course. Subscribe by hitting the red statement, subscribe below. Share the video with your friend, I would appreciate. I'm really close to 5,000, so 4,920 by the time I'm recording, so I'm very, very happy, and thanks to you. See you next week on Wednesday with another classic Italian recipe that is famous worldwide. I guess you understood now what will be. Ciao.